Hello, hello.
Hello.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome in the one of the creators of this oh so wonderful game. I've been kind of hinting at this for a while, but Mr. Edmund McMillen, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy.
So how are you doing today? Let me get the music changed just a little bit here so we can actually hear you talking over all this. Yeah, and there's Jim giving you the, we're not worthy, we're not worthy. Seriously, thank you very much for coming on, man. Very much a pleasure to meet you, sir, and thank you very much for showing up.
No problem.
So how's your day been? And again, everybody in chat saying hi. Obviously, I'm sure you can see him, but nonetheless.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day.
I can say the same.
I don't know how many Magic nerds there are in this chat, but I was able to wrangle myself a box of Modern Masters, and I've been trying to figure out a way to draft it today, and sadly, everybody that is my friend is a flake.
Aw. See, I hate when this happens. Like, every time when I plan something like this, it always winds up, and there's a GG by Jim Drizzle. Again, congrats, Jim. Very nicely done on this race. Again, great races by Eddie. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut into this real quick and finish off the last race, because I kind of forgot, and he says hi to you as well. So again, so much love here. Again, guys, welcome in. This is Edmund McMillen on cast with us here. So he just has some little bit of free time here, so he's decided to join us here. And again, thank you very much for that. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean with the flaky friends. I have this issue oh so tenfold. Like, I can't even put into words how bad my friends are with this stuff. Like, we'll plan out like, oh yeah, let's get together, have a good old time, you know, play some video games, and I'll be sitting there with a controller in hand doing absolutely nothing for the next 7 hours. But that SNES power, there you go. Love my chat.
Yeah, shit happens.
Exactly. It's just, what are you going to do? Crap happens, so nothing you can do about it. All right, in the background here, by the way, guys, I'm going to switch out the stuff in the background here. Slack and Vend, I don't know if you guys wanted to, I didn't see what you guys decided on there, so feel free to let me know again. Yeah, I'm fangirling. You have no idea. The amount of games that I played that this man's worked on is kind of ridiculous, and I like fanboyed to him when I emailed him, so he's gotten the full gist of this at this point. I don't need to ramble on with myself, but nonetheless, yeah, it's...
I just clicked the submit button on a new Mugenics update, which was long ago. That game is insane.
And by the way, I hope everybody can hear him okay, and I cannot wait for that, by the way, because personally I'm a cat person, and yeah, with my cat, it's just one of those, it's written in stone that I have to play this game as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, if you're a cat person, I don't foresee you not liking it. I worry at times because I feel like a cat person knows. If you own a cat, you know that they're animals and they do animal things, and there's just a very fine line of, like, the cats act like real cats and act like animals, and a lot of people who try to make simulation type games really avoid the kind of horrible and gross things that animals do, but that's, you know, kind of the appeal of what they are.
Exactly, like, so that's half the experience of it.
So yeah, like, you can birth a cat that has, you know, bowel problems, so it goes to the bathroom a lot, and then maybe another cat that's born that is very stupid and has no regard for food, so will assign food to anything it's edible, eat the poop, get a disease, and then spread the disease around to everything else. But, you know, there's a good chance that that disease might have some positives in some way, so...
That is so freaking awesome. Like, this sounds so much like my cat, it's ridiculous, who I'm just now putting on screen, obviously, and is apparently camera shy and walking away from me. There he is. I knew he was here. Like I said, I'm some guy on his couch, ladies and gentlemen. You can see this in here. I have a terrible, terrible apartment. Nonetheless, my cat would basically be the epitome of this. He's actually puked into a surround sound system and started a fire to wake me up one day. Liquid puke into the top of a surround sound system, electrical fire, and yeah, that smell. I don't even want to begin to tell you what that smelled like.
My cat Guppy actually swallowed... So you know how cats are prone to eating thread? Or yarn or whatever.
Absolutely,
else.
yes.
And they find like a little piece of yarn hanging out of their mouth, and you grab it and you keep pulling, and it keeps pulling and pulling and pulling endlessly.
Be thankful it's their mouth that you're pulling it out of. I've had the opposite experience.
Yeah. Well, Guppy, I guess, digested a big thing of yarn, and not yarn but string, and then he passed it, and we saw it in. Well, Danielle saw when she was changing the litter and found a needle at the end of it.
Oh my goodness! Are you kidding? Is he okay? Oh,
yeah, this happened years ago.
Oh wow!
It was like, just seemed really crazy because the needle was big. It wasn't like a thin little needle. It was a large needle, and he just passed the whole thing. And I don't understand. But Guppy is.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's scary, but at the same time, that is incredibly amazing that actually worked out okay. Wow. Yeah, Guppy's a boss. Exactly. Like, my goodness.
He's an old pro. He's getting old though. Oh, you can hear Mom. Let me let her out. 1 second.
No problem. I was gonna say Spaz even heard that one. You could see the reaction. Like, I heard meowing. Tell everyone I love them, humans. Humans, I love you. You're a sweetheart, Spaz. Yeah, you heard that, didn't you? You heard the meowing, didn't you? Everybody heard it. Just looking at my headphones like, I heard that. I know it's there. Had that love from Spaz.
I wonder. I don't think my cam's gonna work on here.
Ooh, if it does, I can actually add that in. No problem.
I would show Guppy if I could, but my webcam's off.
No, don't even worry about it. Not going to be an issue. If it does, though, awesome. Because Guppy is, I gotta say, for whatever reason, I'm so drawn to that cat. It's gotta, and boy, do I look good. I dressed up for the occasion. That hole in my sleeve. Yeah, I dressed up for the occasion, guys. Grump's planning ahead. Now, nonetheless, but I don't know what it is, but like Guppy has always been just like one of my favorites. Like I don't know why, but I absolutely love cats. I always have, I always will. I think this one's proof of it because he'll just sit here and, you know, just take in all the attention ever. But obviously you being a cat person too, just, you know how it is. I love cats, something fierce.
Yeah, I mean, they're better than majority of people, so.
We were having that exact conversation last night, that somehow they seem to have more soul than most people. Like, they understand when you're feeling bad, they know how to pick you up. They're just so cute, they make you laugh all the time.
They don't have the ability to lie. Everything they do is genuine.
Exactly. There is no lying when they're like, what are you doing? That? They'll flat out tell you, like, I was doing this. What? You have a problem with the human? I own you. Deal with it. Isn't that right, Spaz? Let me finish setting this up in the background here. We'll be back to the Spaz cam momentarily, I promise. On that note, let me get the rest of this updated because I'm really, really behind on doing this. Vend and Slack, I paid no attention. Were you guys setting up? Because I'm totally just out of it at the moment. Oh, I'm so bad. But again, out of curiosity, this is going to sound really so... Oh yeah, let's put Vendorith versus Vendorith. That'll work great. Vendorithception incoming. No, let's try this again. That's supposed to be Slackaholicus, and I clicked the wrong one. Why did that not change? Either way, though, but out of curiosity, and this will sound really self-serving, but how did you wind up hearing about this in the first place?
Somebody linked it to me on Twitter. I don't know who.
Ah, very nice. I was going to say, because I knew that last year I was watching when you were talking to one of our racers, Cobalt Streak, our champion from last year, who I'm sure you know pretty well, because you tried troll calling him in the middle of his unbeaten run.
Yes.
Which amazingly, well, not too amazingly, it is Cobalt. Did fail, I might point out.
Yeah, I don't think I understood exactly what he had been doing at that point, but people just kept saying to call in that he's been playing for forever, and not thinking I goaded him into doing a chest run, and it was a thing.
Yeah, no, he's been, I almost called him Slack as I'm reading everything on screen. No, Cobalt is quite known for breaking your game in ways that most people didn't even know were humanly possible, so it's quite wonderful to watch.
I'm excited to see him break break Rebirth, because there's just so many more items and possibilities. There's definitely more possibilities of things to break.
Oh, sure. I like this combination of things, and this just sounds so brutal for me because I know full well that I'm going to feel the pain of it, because if I don't have a lot of health in this one, I'm going to be bad. And if I'm not mistaken, we cap at 12 hearts in Rebirth.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is going to be brutal for me, guys. You're going to see a lot of failure on my stream. I'm going to warn you right now, and I mean mine, not the racers, but I'm going to fail a lot at this next game, and I'm fine with that. I love the challenge that you put into these. Like, that makes me come back and play it so much more. So,
it'll scale up a lot better. Like, it won't. One of my pet peeves is that people just starting out will get, especially through Steam sale, they'll get the basic, and then they'll get Wrath of the Lamb, and they'll start with Wrath of the Lamb installed, and that's like, there is no way to fix this in game, but I had hoped that the only people that would buy the expansion would be the people who have already killed Mom. You know, Mom's heart at least 2 or 3 times.
Yep, makes perfect sense. I tell people the exact same thing.
You kind of need. So in Rebirth, things will actually unlock in that way. So like you won't you won't have all the Wrath of the Lamb stuff right from the beginning. It will unfold as the original game kind of did as you beat Mom's Heart, and things kept unlocking and more and more and more.
Excellent. I like the way this sounds, because like I was saying, I tell people all the time, like, don't worry about putting Wrath of the Lamb on right away. Yes, it gives you some really great items, but at the same point, it gives you a lot of real downfalls as far as making your game tougher. So it's that trade-off of, you know, like, yeah, I could get Epic Fetus, but do I want to get Epic Fetus, or do I want to focus more on, like, I need practice at this before I get going and do something really stupid and, you know, like, get all this worked up. Like, for me, I did so much practice on the original game before I even considered, and mind you, I got it before the expansion came out. But nonetheless, before I would even consider playing the expansion version, I would have had to have beaten the entirety of the regular version. I 100% agree, and I'm so glad that you're doing it that way again, quite honestly. That makes so much better for the game.
I mean, you'd be surprised, like, Isaac was fun to make. I enjoyed putting it together. I enjoyed designing it a lot, but there were so many limitations, and not even as much limitations as just bugs and major issues with Flash.
Okay.
That once it got too big, all the stuff that I wanted to do to fix things, it was just such a crawl. Like,
yeah, almost impossible.
You have to, like, cross your fingers. We had to rig the thing so in order to even publish an SWF, we had to make a folder. I don't even know why. An empty folder. Put the new FLA in, save it there, then export, and then you get one chance to do it, and hopefully it doesn't crash. And if it crashes, then it corrupts the FLA. So, like, it was just the FLA is really huge, and Florian's working in a very old, you know, AS2 scripting language that there's a lot of issues, lots and lots of issues.
That was one of the things that I had heard you say a few times, is that this game is basically at the absolute verge of what Flash can actually hold at the moment, and that, like, you couldn't even update it if you wanted to.
Well, if it was new Flash, we could go more, but no, with what we are working with, it's pretty much, yeah. I mean, you got to work around limitations, and those were Florian's limitations, and the game got done, and I appreciate people for being so forgiving.
At that point, we would much rather have it be something that we even can play. Like, the fact that we can play it, I still think is kind of sort of like just an absolute godsend from what you were saying, and I always kind of quote it as such. But yeah, it's how you guys went through that much reworking of it just to try and get it out that night, having heard the story. I bow to you. I don't know how you put up with that.
It's mostly at some point you just got to not look, because I know people are complaining, and I understand. But I'm not going to look so I don't get so discouraged and lose my mind over, like, the things that need to be fixed. But it's good enough, you know, good enough to get by, good enough for people to play. Not to my standards at all, which is the reason why I'm working on the remake. In the remake, it's not just about fixing the issues as much as it about fixing and adding to the experience overall. Like, I want people to go in from the beginning that have played this game a bazillion times and experience what feels like a fresh new game from the very beginning. I'm even considering changing up, or at least adding new attacks to some of the old bosses, just to keep you on your toes.
Ooh, see, we were a little worried about this. We were doing some speculation as far as, like, you know, I wonder what we might actually see that Edmund might throw into this to troll us. And, oh crap, hopefully I did this right. Yes, I did. Okay, that is Slack on the right side. That is Vendorth on the left side, by the way. We're about to get our next race started a little bit early for obvious reasons, because as you guys can hear, we got Edmund McMillen on the line with us here, so gracing us with his presence, and again, thank you very much. But yeah, we were all kind of taking bets as far as, like, well, what can he troll us with? Like, oh, I bet he throws in, like, you know, random attacks on this, or, you know, like, this item suddenly doesn't actually work and just goes troll when you hit the spacebar and hurts you or something. Like, oh, don't give him ideas, guys. Like, he doesn't need these.
There's a lot I want to do. I'm not totally into just fucking people over, but I definitely I want there to be more interesting things. Like, I want there to be more really buried secrets, and I want the game to have a lot more depth than it appears to have. So
awesome. I like the way that sounds. I like having to search for stuff.
I'd like to be able to support this, and I said this in another stream, but making it so you can, like, give a seed of your whole playthrough, so everybody is the same to another person, and then you can actually race, and it'd be more legitimate and not as luck based. But
and this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we were waiting to see what happens with Rebirth before we do Season 3, just in case, because there's always that offhand chance that this could totally change what we do here.
Yeah, I mean, when we get to that, we will cross that bridge. I mean, at this point, where almost all the art is finished, the basic art is finished, all the item art is finished, and the engine is base engine. I heard is almost there.
Ooh.
So it's still a ways off. I don't foresee it coming out till next year early.
Okay.
But hopefully people will actually still want to play after that point.
Oh, I flat out guarantee they will. Like, I mean, perhaps you've noticed there's a slight bit of hype for this game still going on. Like, people are just now finding out, like, wait, you can race this? Like, yeah, just wait for Rebirth. It's going to get even better. So the fact that the hype's still up there on this game, I got to give you credit and say that you're probably going to be okay. Even if we have to wait a little bit longer, we're willing to. I know I don't speak for everybody, but take your time. Make that as good as you want it to be, and we'll all be perfectly happy with it. And that's just my opinion to it. I know a lot of people share that same sentiment, but I would much rather see what you want to come out instead of just like, it has to be out by this date. And I know that there's those obvious limitations to it too, but like, I think we'd all much rather see like what you truly envision out of it, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets to that point, I'm not the kind of person that is okay with just getting enough of the job done. Like, I wouldn't be okay with this being a port. Like, if we're gonna do a remake of a game, I want it to be way more of a game. I want it to be. I mean, we're already pushing 100+ new items.
Ooh.
So it's already a considerable update when it comes to items, and I'm very happy with how the design of all those items has turned out. I think I've introduced enough to make things pretty exciting, and a lot more items that stack and change tiers and stuff like that in different ways that could probably make things very interesting.
Very nice. I like the sound of this, although that item synergy is what's going to get me for the most part. I have the hardest time remembering item synergies, all 199 items. I can't imagine when you toss another 100 into this, how much more confusing this is going to get for me, guys.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine. I prefer that, because like I said, I like the fact that I have almost never played the same game twice on this. Has it happened? Yeah, pretty close to it. It's going to. But at the same point, like, I've never come across, like, a guaranteed, like, okay, I got Epic Fetus, then I got this item, then I got Health Up. I've never had the same run twice. And just the fact that you're adding more in means that I almost guarantee I'm never going to get the same run twice again, and that smiles ear to ear right there. Hey, what's up, Horror? How you doing, dude? And again, seriously, good job on that emote. If you haven't seen it yet, we have that BOILeR hype emote with the devil with the Crumps hat on in there.
Yeah. Here, one sec, I'm going to grab our water.
Oh, take your time. So again, for those curious, that is Edmund on the line with us here, so gracing us with his presence, one of the devs of this game. No, he's just walking away for a quick second. He's grabbing a refill. But yeah, if you didn't hear the words there, basically Rebirth looking like possibly sometime next year. They're working along pretty well at it at this point. So again, quick race update. We got Vendrith on the left-hand side, moving on down to his Caves 1. He's got a very slight lead at the moment on Slackaholicus on the right. Looks like Vendrith is rocking Loki's horns and a cube of meat. Looks like money equals power, go figure, for Slackaholicus. He always finds items like this. I swear he finds the best items. Where do you get such great toys? No, but that'll be 1 damage up for every... actually, it's a base 2 damage up right off the bat, and then also 1 damage up for every 10 coins you come across. At a cap of 3 of those, so he can get an extra 3 damage from that. Right now he's sitting at 1.
I'm back, by the way.
Yeah, welcome back, sir. And real quick, the toothpicks are not allowed. It's not that they're not allowed. You can pick them up if you want to, but they have such a minimal effect that we're letting the racers re-roll them if they want to. I don't know if Edmund knows the stats on it or not, but I think it's somewhere in the very low percentages of shot speed increase on those.
Yeah, even when it came to, like, it's pretty funny. So how I designed most of this stuff, and as it's been exposed, it's pretty obvious that I do things this way. I would basically send Florian an email that would give the basic stats for each item and stuff like that.
Okay.
And a lot of the times there would just be errors, like instead of negative, it would be positive, or vice versa. So some items just have like random stats that don't seem to make much sense at all to them, like Super Meat Boy not giving you speed and stuff like that, like, or the luck stat that when your luck goes down, the percentage of chests
goes up.
Go up.
Yep.
Those are just like mistypes, you know, like you
Gotcha. Just random human error, basically.
A programmer, I had no way of going through this endlessly huge script of the whole game and seeing what was going wrong. When we originally did it, what was it? There was some major lag, and it had to do with him like giving everything physics, and it wasn't something that I could see was happening, but like I kept moving things around, because everything does kind of have physics, like you can physically push things.
Oh, absolutely.
It had to do with the way he was doing it, and I didn't know he was doing it that way, but so I asked him, and it turned out like it was basically taking up everything.
Like every resource available.
Yeah, like every single tier you had was a physical moving object, so when there was a lot of tiers on the screen, you had a
physics for each.
Physics. What was that? Oh, okay.
Not me.
But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting development. I mean, the original development for Isaac was only 3 months.
Oh wow!
So it was just kind of like, I don't know. To me, it felt like buggy. I didn't think anybody would like it because I thought it was too weird, and I didn't think people would really like having to replay the game over and over again. So I'm like, oh well, we'll just charge $5 for it, and maybe people will be forgiving.
Oh wow! Little did you know at the time.
Yeah, I hadn't too. If you told me that this game would have done well, I would have totally voted against this game. I would have said there was no possible way that this would do well.
And quite honestly, this has been my favorite that you've actually put out to this point. The fact that you only charge $5. I said it before when you were on Man vs. Game stream, and a couple others, like Cobalt's, for example. But dude, I would have paid full, flat-out $60 for this. I even bought Unholy Edition signed by you just so I could give you extra money for it. Like, it's deserving. This game is I've put almost 1,000 hours into it. Between all of our 32 racers, we're close to 25,000 hours. I mean, that says something right there. Between 32 people. And this game's been out for a while, but still, like, it's addictive. You did a great job of this, and yes, I know I'm blowing smoke up your ass right now, but you get the idea. Like, it's a phenomenal game, man.
Well, I definitely appreciate it, and I'm not too worried about the money stuff, but yeah, I don't know.
It's the show of care, though, on my part. Like, that's always been my thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do. It's like I'm working on Eugenics, and it's definitely not as, I don't think it is. It's not a streaming game. Like, maybe it is. I don't know, but it's such kind of the opposite of The Binding of Isaac, but in some ways it's very similar when it comes to like random generation and a lot of like the themes and stuff like that, items and whatever else.
Gotcha. Okay. You'd be surprised, I bet.
But yeah, I don't know. I just don't. It's really like a casual game. Like, I've never made a casual game before, and Eugenics is definitely a casual game. And I do enjoy certain casual games, and I'm trying to like rethink of like, how would I make a casual game? Like, how the hell would I do this? And Tommy and I
make it your own type of thing.
Yeah, like it's really hard to find. Like, Tommy and I have been like racking our brains going around online trying to find something similar to what we're doing, so we can at least have some idea of what goes wrong, and what works and what doesn't work, and whatever else. And there's a lot of pieces. Like, it's got elements of Animal Crossing, it's got elements of Pokemon, and it's got elements of The Sims and Tamagotchi. But there's not anything that I've seen that like does what I'm trying to do. So it's really weird, and so it's like, I don't know. I don't know who the hell's gonna play this, but I mean, I felt the same way about Isaac, so you never know.
Sorry for the truck breaking outside right as I decided to attempt to unmute. Anyways, but you'd be really surprised. Actually, Horror made a really great point in chat here. One of the your staff, aren't you, Horror? I keep forgetting this. Moot point. Anyways, he makes a really good point that like sim games are really, really not sim I know that's not the right way to describe the game, but, you know, like games where viewers can even get that little bit of interaction of, like, you know, a game dev tycoon, for example. Like, what do we name our game, guys? Like, name it Call of Duty, DOODIE. Woohoo! You know, like, it's that small little bit, and, like, you'd be surprised. Like, the smallest little things will make viewer interaction that much better on games. And, you know, like, you know, naming the cat, or, you know, like you were saying, like, getting some of the, you know, like the random combinations of what's going to do what, and, you know, stuff like that, it's going to interest people. So I bet you'd be really surprised. Like, and again, Isaac, kind of the same way. I heard about it and was just thinking, like, yeah, come on. And then I saw a man play it, and within about 5 minutes, I went out and bought it. So it doesn't take much. You'd be really surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Eugenics. I like what we're working on. It feels more and more special. I'm just not. I'm always, you know, not positive that, like, I get bored really easy, and I can't seem to do the same thing again, and it's just not at all like anything else. So, but I felt the same way about this, where I'm like, well, I don't think people that play Super Meat Boy will like this, and then I'm working on another project with Tommy, Secret, that I feel like no one will like, but, you know, it's just, I'm to the point now where I just need to do what I like. Like, I just need to do what's fun for me and not worry at all about if people are going to like it or not. And hopefully if I like it a lot, then, you know, there's enough people out there like me that will also like it a lot. So
I got to agree with that exact sentiment. Like, we say the same thing here quite a bit. Like, I don't worry about what other people think of me. Like, I'm 33 at this point in my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's that whole, hey, I've got to make it, but at the same point, you got to do it doing what you love, because it's going to show that much more. Like, if you're putting the love that you have for something into it, it's people are going to be able to see that, and it definitely shines through. So I think no matter what the case, like, you have to do what you love, and, you know, screw what everybody else thinks. Like, just, you know, go with the flow, and it's going to work best for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the way I've always been, but, you know, the past couple of years have been very interesting.
I can only imagine. It's kind of been the same, like, you know, the interesting portion hitting the last couple of years for me. And, you know, obviously with Twitch, not the same theory, mind you, but, you know, you get the idea. Like, I'm not trying to, like, oh yeah, we're in the exact same boat. Believe me, we're not. I can't imagine how crazy your life is, especially trying to do all this stuff at the same time. Like, the fact that you found time for this, I can't even fathom how you did this.
Everything's relative. It's completely,
True.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's been odd, you know, and it's hard to erase expectations of others and care, like, I don't know, you know. Yep. I didn't think this game was going to do well, as I've said a million times, and now I have, like, some element of pressure where it's like, now I've made a lot of games, but I made 2 games for the most part that people know about.
Yep.
And now, you know, I don't want them to expect too much of me at this point, because I just want to do weird stuff again. Like, I want to do really odd, weird, experimental
just
games.
What makes your heart sing type of stuff that, you know, like that. See, and that's for me too. Like, that's where I say, like, and keep in mind, I'm an audio engineer, so I'm the type of guy that has to record artists all the time. So again, different field, but artist nonetheless. And you can tell the difference between, you know, like, okay, this is actually me, and, like, hey, I'm doing a cover song of Bon Jovi for the 50,000th time because I know it's going to sell. You know, that type of stuff. You can see the difference. It really does show. Yeah,
it's so fucking weird. It's just, especially with Eugenics, where the whole time, if we wanted to make millions of dollars off of it, we could do that. It would be a very easy thing to do, but it would be the most abusive and horrible means of doing so that everybody else in the world does, and of course we're not going to do that. But there's all these, like, I don't know, it's weird. I don't like dealing with things like money. Money is a weird thing, because when you put money with art, it just slowly creeps away from art and becomes business. Yep, exactly. It's hard to just say, forget about it. We're forgetting about money. We're not worrying about. We're never thinking about demographic. We're never thinking about how we're going to monetize and blah, 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 blah. Because, man, like, it's just so prevalent in this industry. It's just... Yep, and without it, you're basically up shit creek. Level. And I understand, like, and it's no slight to business people out there, because, you know, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But for me, it's just harder to do that. Like, I don't like that creeping in at all. I want to stay as pure with what I'm doing, and just work on fun stuff because it's fun, not because you know, I want to make another game that sells millions of copies or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That has to be part of the norm because that's just what's expected of you at this point. And, you know, it's like, no, nothing should be expected. He's, you know, I think of it as art, guys. It's what it is. Like, he's putting his heart and soul into it. It's his art that's there, you know, being your game. And, you know, like, whatever they come up with, like, you can't fault anybody for absolutely anything. But this brings up Horror's question from chat that I saw a second or two ago. Would you be mad if, like, you think, like, people aren't going to like Mugenics? Like, would that actually upset you in any way, shape, or form? Or would it just make you happy that, you know, like, I put out what I want to put out?
There's, like, this really weird part of me that feels like if people didn't like it, I would almost, like it. You know? Like, I'm sure there are people that will hate aspects of the game because of the game, because the game is dark. The game is dark. The game is weird. The game touches on a lot of different things I think are really interesting about, you know, people and society in general. And, you know, its outer shell kind of feels and looks like it's, you know, it's this basic cat simulation, and which it is. But the cool part about it is I get to play around with things and talk about things, like any game I've done, that I'm interested in, that I think are weird. And I get to talk about society now. And I don't even know if anybody will pick up on it, but we'll see. What are you yelling at me for? How can I get the door?
No problem. Oh, God, it's just like me yelling at the cat, except that wasn't a cat that was yelling at him. Speaking of my cat, he's passed out on the floor just looking at me like, he's got cats, I know he does. Put him on screen. Yeah, awkward. Life aggro. Oh, this is why I love you guys in chat. Life aggro. You guys are the best. Alright, so we got Slackaholics at the moment, just slightly in the lead. Vendrit's still looking to catch up to the same boss fight that Slack is on right now. You can see that money equals power is capped out for damage for Slack. He's got 75 cents right now, so he's rocking some nice damaging tiers. Excuse me. R.I.P. Edmund. I don't think it was that bad aggro. They can control the ads, it's all good.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. I assume Danielle, and how you doing?
Doesn't anybody ever yell to their husband?
I don't have one, but I would do it, so don't feel bad. I'd be like, do this all the time. Yeah, don't worry. By the way, I've been requested to show you my cat, so...
Oh, let me see it.
Hold on, let me get my camera. I've been told that you absolutely have to see Spaz, so I will provide this for you really quick here. And pleasure to meet you also, by the way.
Hello. Oh,
there we go.
Oh, somebody's calling me Daniel.
It's Danielle. That's a few. Oh, don't run away. Come here. Come here.
Shut up.
Come here. Come here. Where are you going? We'll get back to the race momentarily. I have to show Danielle the cat. I promised I would.
Is he a boy or a girl?
He's a boy. His name's Spaz. There's the love for you. I knew he'd do it. He gave you kisses real quick. Where is my Isaac window? Cat, what are you doing? Come here.
He's so cute.
I promised I would show him to you, so there's my cat Spaz.
Crazy face mask on. Hello.
Had to be done real quick. I made promises earlier, so I figured I had to live up to them, but Spaz says hi to you.
Let's just watch the cat.
Yeah, no, that is a quite common response in my chat, honestly. I'm very used to this, so there will be a 24-hour cat cam at some point. I just have to get him in one room where he's going to stay there. Because right now I have a huge apartment that he just wanders endlessly, so it's impossible to keep him near a camera. Otherwise, I would put him up on the screen right now consistently.
And who are you playing against?
So right now we've got Vendrith on the left-hand side, one of our racers here, and Slackaholics is his opponent. So we've got, geez, let's see, 32 racers this year. Let me link up in chat for anybody that hasn't seen this yet. We've also got the website up at the top left, but kind of basing this on, like, shoot, did I spell that right? Yes, I did. This is why I can't talk and type at the same time. I'm terrible. But we got it based on kind of like National Football League, so you can see everything up on there. Like, we got 17 weeks of this, so we got a lot still to go.
You've been out of the loop for forever. You haven't streamed in ages.
I know, the last time I streamed, I had deleted my game so I could start all over. And now that seems really daunting.
It's not as bad as you think. You've done it before, too. And by the way, I've lurked those streams many a time, so... Long-time lurker, first-time talker.
Are there any people in here who were watching Danielle's stream last summer when we met Shigo?
I actually missed this one. I heard about this afterwards, though. There's a link for
it
it.
was the best summer of my life.
Oh.
We've had minor interaction with her.
Oh, Haku.
Yeah, we've had minor interaction with Shigo recently.
Back burner.
Ooh, very nice.
Since Danielle hasn't streamed, we haven't.
Casper.
She's on a new website. It's pretty interesting.
Not me, Shigo is.
Yes, Shigo. Team Shigo.
Love it. So obviously you guys have seen some of the Packer hanging out in here. We got quite a few of them, actually. You know Casper, I'm sure.
Sanity.
Yeah, what was it? About a few nights ago, we told her... because we made new names.
There's Daniel.
We made new names, and she's on this new site.
Cobalt Streak. There's Casey. Oops, sorry, Casey.
We all know who Casey is, don't worry.
See, everybody wants to hear their name. It's like Rumford.
we convinced Shigo that Tommy and I were the creators of Twitch TV, and we were going to give her a show because she was talking about how she's psychic, and it was about psychic video game players, and we told her to blindfold herself and play a game for us, and that's what she did.
But I think she was playing like Ford Racing or something on like the 64.
That's what was in. No, that was in her. Well, it was in her Xbox.
Oh, that was an Xbox game?
Yeah, it was. But that's what was in it. She turned it on, and it was Ford Racing. And
she said, "That's my game."
She goes, "That's my game," and we said, "Do a blindfold," and she did it. She didn't do well, but. And,
hey, she did it.
We had to take the deal off the table.
She was even squealing while she was playing, like as I would squeal while playing Isaac for Ford Racing.
It was pretty good.
Oh my god, that's classic. I love Horror's reaction to like, wait, what?
Yeah, we're probably delving into something that only a handful of people here even understand. So it's like this horrible inside joke.
And the things that Ed and Tommy do when they're together, it goes so in depth, and it's only for it's just for themselves.
But that's the beauty of it all. If you're having fun with it, that's the important thing here.
It
goes so far.
The story she tells are just.
We also got. She never used to take her clothes off, which we were lucky. But then she was flopping a tit out for most of that time.
Yeah, that was a thing. That's when Tommy left.
It's called tit flop.
Getting mad tokens.
Has anybody in here bought a figure?
Actually, I know quite a few people in here have. I know Cobalt obviously has a few.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if, oh god, I'm going to screw up his name now. I'm terrible. Oh, it's been so long since he spoke in my chat. I'm terrible. I've forgotten his name now. Oh god, somebody help me.
James.
Sad thing is, I think that's his real name, too. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, Cobalt don't remember it, because for the life of me, I'm drawing a huge blank on the other guy's name that bought so many of the numbered ones. Oh my god, I'm so bad. He'll figure it out. Anyways, I know a lot of people do. There you go, quite a few responding.
Well, my mom is here, the person that makes the figures. That's why I was yelling, because I ran out of the shower and I heard her knocking at the door.
Retro Video, thank you. Oh my god.
Yes.
Thank you. I knew you'd recognize the name instantly if I said it.
Richard Rogers.
Thank you. That's and of course you remember the real name too.
Oh yeah.
Danielle remembers all the names of everybody, of all of the thousands of people that order stuff.
Yeah,
so.
So like when people email me, "Where's my stuff?" I remember I sent it out. You live far away. Relax.
Yeah, don't worry. She's not coming to hunt you down or anything.
That's basically what I say. Say hi, Mom.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing today?
Great.
We should interview Danielle's mom about Isaac and what she knows about it. This would be pretty entertaining, at least for me.
Who's your character?
Perfect response. I love it.
Who's your favorite character?
I like the leg.
You like the? Who's the leg?
It's either Mom or Satan, I think.
Yeah, that works. What's your favorite item?
Item?
Yeah, what's your favorite? Well, yeah. What's your favorite item? That's not an item.
I'm
If you
a
just name anything, it's probably an item.
Yeah, try it.
pill.
A pill.
Awesome.
Which pill?
Oh.
Thinker. I'm a charlatan. No, whatever.
They call them posers.
Poser. That's it.
It's just like you when you
Hey,
wear
but she
the Evil
does
Dead
have
t-shirts.
she does have a rare Adventure Time T-shirt on, so that's got to count for something.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Otaku might be in love right now.
but-
Just fair warning, if somebody in chat named Otaku all of a sudden spams hearts at you, now you know why. That Adventure Time is just going to sell everything for him. Wait for it, if he's here. Yeah, for me it's Brimstone too. I love Brimstone myself. I love that everybody's answering too. Puberty pill.
Yes, puberty pill is awesome. It can be
I do
so-
like the I found pills in Atom just for the sound that it makes. It is like I laugh, I giggle like a schoolgirl every time that I hear that sound that he makes. Like I don't know what it is, but I just can't help it.
I don't know where it came from.
Really?
I think it was actually made. I'm not too sure though.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's an actual human voice. If it is, it's really processed. Again, I'm an audio engineer, so yeah, sorry, but it does sound like it's really heavily processed. If it is.
Yeah, I know. We contracted out a few sound effects that were actually made, like mom's voice, and Isaac's voice is actually Danny.
Ah, thought so.
See that sound?
Yeah, he did the hurt sound.
But the ooh.
No, he might have. I don't know. I gotta ask him now.
Hmm.
I don't know where it's coming from.
I'm gonna have to pay attention to that now, because now that I know for sure that that is Danny, I'm gonna have to pay attention and see if it sounds like him again. That very well might be.
I don't know. I have no idea. This game's
There's so much outsourcing.
it's all a blur at this point.
I can't even fathom.
Me and my mom gotta take off. We're gonna go see my sister and spend some money.
Wahoo! No, seriously, absolute pleasure meeting you, Danielle, and obviously your mother as well. Take care, both of you. Have yourselves a great day.
Very nice to meet you. Hello to everybody. I miss you all, and I love Edmund. And I have to go.
Aw, and that's sweet. No, seriously, have yourself a great day, Danielle. Thank you very much.
Ah. Oh, Mom.
Oh, Moxie says thanks.
Ooh, that close race, very nicely done. Wow, check this out. Under 27 minutes and a very close one for that. Vendra taking a 1-0 lead here. I'm sorry I'm not calling much about the race, but hey, we have excuses for once. I get a break, yes. But seriously, very great job there by Vendrith on the left-hand side. These two are going to wind up resetting and get round 2 underway. That was a very close race. That's why I'm
So you
loving
guys
this
do best
season.
2 out of 3?
Yes, we do. Every single one of these will be a best 2 out of 3, just to make it a little more even. We figure that way if they get some real overpowered, like Mom's Knife, kind of evens it out more. That way it's not just, oh, I got Mom's Knife, I win today. So that's one of the first few losses I think I've ever seen Slackaholic handed on my channel, too. So very nicely done, Vendrith. I give you a round of applause, sir.
What's the average time for a speed run to kill the heart?
We're looking somewhere usually about 20 minutes, seems about average so far this season. We've had a few that went longer just because obviously the game trolls you from time to time. For example, Tornus today, on his birthday, I might add this morning, got trapped in a room where he had to bomb through with no bombs to get through it. So the game's been trolling a little bit here and there, which I'm sure you've noticed.
Was there a lowest score? I mean, lowest time?
Yeah, so far I believe it was, oh, take your time, Vendrith, no rush, dude. But I think the lowest time so far was, I want to say 16 minutes and change. Somebody might correct me on that, but I think it was 16 and a half at this point.
Nice.
Yeah, 17 minutes, so just under 17 minutes, basically. I remember it being Jim Drizzle, if I'm not mistaken, just today at like 16:50 or 16:40 something, so it was a really quick run.
Yeah, I'd like for time to be more of a thing in Rebirth. Give some more rewards and possibly see some more things if you play faster.
Oh, I like the way this sounds, especially for the Racing League portion of it all. That does sound very diabolical. At the same point, is very awesome. So I'm loving hearing this stuff. Like, this is just getting me so excited for this again. We've been talking about it, though. Like, we just want to see it not be on Flash, because none of us are fans of Flash at this point. It's given us so many issues. Oh,
Yeah.
God, are you okay? Jesus.
What happened?
He just basically took off running like he fell off of the table he was sitting on. I don't know how he did it, but fell down to the ground just like, oh my god, and just freaked out and went running. So, you okay? Alright, jeez. My cat, ladies and gentlemen, Spaz, living up to his name.
So I'm gonna get back to work in about 10 minutes. So I don't know if you wanted to do like rapid fire questions from the chat.
Ooh, that sounds like a great idea, actually. Tell you what, let me drop this just so that we don't get like an insane amount, because I remember the stop the chat command at one point in Man's channel, if you were there for that. Was that you or was that Danny? I think it was Danny.
I have no idea.
It was probably Danny in that case, but nonetheless, I don't know how fast you can read, but this is going to just spam like crazy style here, so if nobody's got a problem, we're going to toss this on slow mode real fast before we do this. But we got about 10 minutes here, so you guys can go ahead and rapid fire some questions at Edmund here. If you've got anything to ask, feel free to. Hopefully that actually clicked on. It didn't say slow mode, but hopefully it did.
All right,
We'll
I'll
find out.
try answering them. Let's see. Isaac's made a lot of money. That's the answer. Favorite new item in Rebirth? I don't know yet because they're not active. I know the items, but I don't know. I don't know exactly how they're going to play it, so I don't have a favorite one yet. Price of the remake? I'm not too sure yet. I know it'll probably be over $10, but if you already own it, it's going to be a lot cheaper. I'd like it to be at least 50% cheaper.
Oh wow!
If you already own the game, I want everybody who's already who has the Flash version of the game to get a considerable discount, possibly even more if we do like a pre-order thing or something.
Oh wow!
Will there be bigger rooms in Rebirth? Yes, there'll be a couple different types of rooms that are totally new. This is going fast.
I told you it'd be scary. Let's see if this actually worked or not. It claims it's in slow.
I believe Rebirth is coded in C. I'm not 100% sure. My legs are breast man. I like all of the pieces of women. Of my wife.
Yeah, singular. Just the one. That's all we're talking about here.
I'm good with all of them. And yeah, the more of them, the better. What?
I'm trying to find a few too, just in case.
So many cameos of previous games. So I put a bunch of cameos of my previous games in Isaac because we did so many different indie game cameos that had nothing to do at all with any of the other games I did in Super Meat Boy, and I thought it would just be fun to like reference, like it was almost like inside jokes for me. So I just kept putting in a bunch of characters, and in a lot of ways Isaac references a lot of different games, a lot of different ways. So I thought it would be cool to just do more self-referential stuff. It was just more fun, and also I didn't have to ask anybody else for permission, which currently is kind of a pain in the ass because I've been working on the special edition cover for Indie Game the Movie, and it incorporates like 260 plus different indie games.
Oh wow!
And I thought, oh, this is fine, and then it turns out like there are a few indies out there who like hated the movie for I guess a bunch of different reasons, and
oh wow.
And wouldn't want to be a part of it. So the Elise Ann and Jamie, who made the movie, are going down the list, and they have to get basically email approval from every single one of them, which sucks. And that's a reason why I didn't do my own cameos. And just do it all. It's easier because then I could just ask myself if that's cool, and it usually is. When Mugenis be done, as soon as we can finish it, it's definitely one of those. It's a snowball game where it was a tiny little idea, like it was just a little prototype that we put together, and it went from this little DNA simulation into a cat simulation into this huge sprawling world at this point, and it keeps growing, and I want to be as happy with it as possible, and me and Tommy are just like that. So it's done when it's done. It would be our goal is to get it done by the end of this year, though.
Very nice.
I like Skittles more than M&Ms.
Yes, good man. Yes.
Yeah.
I knew I liked you.
I like I like the fruity stuff. I like the fruits. I've never ridden a horse. When I was a child, a little one, I did. I think I had a horse. His name was Chubbs. It was I believe. There's going to be tons of Easter eggs and other jokes and such in Rebirth.
Another good question I saw for Rebirth, will there be DLC for it again later on like this one had?
Oh, maybe. I don't ever think about DLC until like something's done, because I usually try to pack what I would put in DLC. Like, DLC is a weird thing. When you're gonna think about it like logically, most places that add DLC, that was all in the budget to just finish the game, and realistically, you're just getting ripped off. Like, they're just finding another way to like charge you extra money. So I just try not to put my mind to, hey, here's some stuff I'm going to actively cut from the existing game just so I can charge you extra money down the road. So no plans on an expansion yet, but if I feel inspired, and Rebirth does well and people demand it, sure, why not?
Awesome, just the way I like to hear that. I'd put in chat yes, because I'm in complete agreement.
No items have been removed, but some items have been either buffed and or moved into a trinket slot. Like the Wiggle Worm is the only one I've confirmed being a trinket slot, and it's part of an actual trinket cycle. All these different worms that change the way your tiers move. Yeah.
That's a little scary for me. I'm terrible with that.
Is there any other good ones that I went by that I wasn't paying attention to?
Will we be able to rebind our keys in Rebirth if we're playing it on PC?
Oh yeah, like that's just something you can do in Flash. Like all PC games have binding. It's like super easy to add. So I would assume yes.
Awesome.
There, keyboard and gamepad binding and all that good stuff. It should definitely be in. Maybe even some resolution options that go beyond whatever the hell I did here.
I think it was like small, medium, and large.
I think there's a total, there'll be over 300 items in Rebirth. There's a lot. 3DS version, it would be nice. Nintendo been really weird about it. And it's, I don't know, it's very weird. But we'll see. You never know. There's always the possibility, and the new graphics, I don't know how, but a lot of people see them as looking a little more toned down, not as graphic somehow, because it's pixels or something. So you never know. Maybe they think it looks like something they want now. I have no idea. Maybe the guy who said no will be fired. I don't know. Controller support will be in game. You won't need to use joystick key or anything like that.
Just made about half of our racers happy as hell.
Yeah, I mean, any of the logical stuff that seemed like, why the hell didn't they add that? Because that's like, the easiest thing to do, and everybody does it, and that's what we'll do. Like, and this just couldn't happen because it's Flash, and Flash won't support gamepads. I don't know why. It seems like I actually Indie Game the movie was the tour of the actual movie was sponsored by Adobe, so I actually had Adobe contacts and I talked to them. Like, I talked to them often about what they needed to add into Flash that was just like no-brainer stuff that seemed so simple, and number one was like gamepad support, and it just fell on deaf ears. I don't know. Who knows?
That's really surprising. You figured that would be kind of a top-notch thing there.
Yeah, I don't know. I give up.
Let's see.
Yeah, so, yes, we'll be on Steam.
Any new Devil Angel type rooms?
Yep.
Ooh.
There'll be a few new things, and maybe some changes and things that you might think, you wouldn't think to do anything with, because they didn't do anything in the old version.
Ooh, excellent. I like the way this sounds. A dad room.
There won't be a dad room.
Aw, Horror's heart just broke.
Dad is gone. A release date for Rebirth, I mean, I'm thinking early next year. There's no set date, though, yet. Custom challenge mode, I keep going back and forth on it, and you guys seem to really like that sort of stuff too, and I would consider it if it was on, Platinum God. But the thing is, and as much as that sounds like, oh, that sounds cool, Platinum God in Rebirth is going to be a lot harder to get. So, but that could be like the ultimate reward, right? Like that's
Oh, absolutely.
we love. So, I'd consider it like after 100% of the game is completed, doing something like that. But again, I'm not programming this, so I'm at the whim of the guy who is in the company who's doing this. But if it's doable, it's doable.
Yeah, Cobalt push for that 100% as fast as quick as he possibly can. And yeah, I agree with Man on this one. And what's up, by the way? But yeah, the hardest achievements are always the best ones.
The original idea with Isaac was that everything in the game resembles Isaac in some way. Like, could be it was important. It's important to the story. It's important to the theme of the game that everything in the game that you fight resembles him in some basic way. That the theme will carry over in Rebirth, but sometimes there's just bosses that aren't that human, so can't always do that. But that was the theme I was going for.
Gotcha.
What is Mugenics? It's the game I'm working on about cats and hoarding.
2 things I'm good at. I believe I'll be playing the hell out of that out of sheer curiosity of what's going to happen.
God, this thing's good. Yes, Isaac's dad's key is referencing the lore of the game. I've talked about the Mystery Man before in different casts and stuff. He's a blank character that you get credits for by killing Mom's Heart, and every time you use him, it rerolls his stats evenly and gives you random item sets. And he's just like all the other characters, so in order to unlock his items, you have to beat X, Y, Z with him. And
Gotcha.
It's totally different. So it's like a cool little randomized challenge run.
Nice.
That I think
sounds really cool, actually.
It was my answer to like early game hacks. Like, it's not much of a hack, but it's the closest you're going to get if we add a challenge run thing when you 100%. But I think it's something I wanted to see in this game that you're playing now, but couldn't be done. People send me ideas for items every day, all day, every day. They email them to me, they tweet them at me, they form spring them to me. I have seen a few good ideas that when I actually ask for them, because I got so many, I'm like, you know what? I'll just say, send me ideas, and maybe they'll make it in. And there was a few of the ideas that actually, I don't think they directly inspired me to make a specific item exactly as it was, but for the most part, a lot of them did inspire some basic ideas. Sadly, I can't remember all of them, but the downfall of asking something like that when people suggest items is I had already made about 80 items at that point, and a lot of the items people suggested were ones that I had already made. So there's a lot of people out there who think, oh, I suggested that, which is fine. But chances are you didn't. Because with Isaac, it seems like there's not many limitations as far as what you can do, but there's a lot of like kind of basic idea stuff that's like no brainer, like, oh, that would be cool if Tears did this, it'd be cool if Bombs did that, and a lot of that, which was my go-to when I sat down with my my old list of stuff, my wish list of old Isaac items, and revamped them. I went through all the basic ideas that a lot of people suggested.
Nice. Yep, Rebirth will be on console. Yes, it will. Yep.
I don't foresee myself ever making another Spewer. I don't know. I know people like that game, but and it's not a bad game, but wasn't a huge fan of it. I don't know. It's just it's not one that I would like to revisit. Like, there are quite a few others, and I've got so many games on my plate and stuff that I want to do. If I were to remake any of my old games, I would, and not remake, but actually like sequel or just make a new game in the same vein. it would be Time Fuck, which I think is
Nice.
probably my third best game, I think.
Really? Do you mind if I ask what you would consider 1 and 2?
Meat Boy's 1, Isaac's 2,
Kind of figured.
Time Fuck is 3.
Kind of figured it. It was a matter of what order that went in, but I kind of figured it had to be those two for you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. How's Super Meat Boy 2 doing? Love the question.
We will be working on a new Meat Boy. I mean, it's been in the works for a long time, but then like Megenics popped up, and it was just like, this is too fun to not work on right now. And we just did Meat Boy, so I don't want to do another Meat Boy right after. But no, yeah, I have a pretty cool idea for the new Meat Boy, and Tommy and I have been working on it on and off for quite a while. So once Megenics is through, that's probably be one of our easy go-to projects, new Meat Boy.
I see many hours wasted on my stream coming. Wasted, wrong choice of words. You know what I meant. Let's see what else we
Someone's
got.
asking what Gish and Chad are supposed to be. Well, Gish is the main character in a game I did a long time ago called Gish, and Chad is the second boss in Super Meat Boy. I don't know if you're asking what they actually are. They're blobs. They're blobs.
Yeah, big old blobs.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go. Will there be any sort of beta?
For
I didn't actually specifically ask. Either or. How about that? For Mugenics or for Rebirth?
I'm not a fan of open betas. I don't like selling people. I also don't like doing like pre-ordery play the beta sort of things.
Right.
Like I'm the kind of guy who kind of thinks of it more like a movie. Like a director's not going to show you his really rough cut of a movie and see what you think. Like you want to finish it because it's just not what you intended until it's done.
Yep.
And especially with stuff like, dude, if I let you play an early build of Isaac, it would have been the shittiest thing in the world. Like
I could only
it's not
fathom.
fun until like the last 2 or 3 weeks of development. Like it just wasn't a fun game until it had tons of different random elements. And I just don't like that sort of stuff. That and the fact that I feel weird about also taking money before something is finished, because what if I just decide I don't want to do it?
Yep. Does that mean, okay, now I have to give it back? Does it mean I keep it? Yeah. That's a hell of a catch-22, but no, totally understandable there.
But yeah, so I'm not, it's not going to happen with the beta. My biggest inspirations, there's a lot. I've been inspired by a lot of different people over the years. Lots of different people. But I would say, I'm going to blanket statement and say, like, the early 90s inspired me the most. The artists, the filmmakers, the musicians of the early 90s, as well as, the game designers, inspired me a great deal. It seemed like there was a lot of freedom, and people really, they really supported art and artistic endeavors a lot in the early 90s. Especially even MTV. Like, there was a point where MTV was really fucking cool and did really ballsy, really cool stuff and supported a lot of artists and went beyond music. Now it's, I don't even know what the hell they do now. It's just
Sure, not music TV, I can tell you that.
Yeah, but early 90s was just an awesome time.
Agreed. I'm a child of the well, I was born in 1980, so I was 10 through, 19 in the 90s, so I totally feel you on that one. I've always had a love for the 90s, and I know exactly what you mean by that.
Yeah. But okay, give me one more. Can you find one really good?
Let's find one really good question here to give Edmund to work his way out. By the way, let's see those No Shovels subscribers. Ooh, there you go. This is actually a really good one I think can kind of delve into you a little bit here. Do you have any advice for new game developers, like somebody in chat here?
Yes. First, I will say, if you're a new game developer and you want an in-depth article that I wrote, it's more of a manifesto on the do's and don'ts of game design. Just look up Edmund McMillen do's and don'ts, and you'll get the article. But I can cliff note it and say, number one, if you're a new developer, make sure that you're not in it for the wrong reasons. or you're in it for the wrong reasons. Don't be in it for the wrong reasons.
There you go.
You're primarily supposed to be making games because you enjoy it. If you're in it because you saw any game in the movie and you heard people made money making a game, it's not smart. It needs to be something that you would have done regardless. It needs to be a hobby. Like, it needs to be something that you love.
Yes.
And then the money will come eventually. If you put your heart into anything and you work at it and become really good at what you're doing, there'll be money there. And you just need to not be able to worry about it. And that's your primary goal, should be to just have fun doing what you're doing and grow as an artist, basically. That's probably the best advice I can give. Just be really true to yourself and honest with yourself as far as what you really want out of this. Because if it is, a paycheck, it's not smart. It's not smart, because I didn't see a paycheck for 8 years.
Yowza. That's
So
a long time.
There's a very odd illusion, even though they talk a lot about my past and what I did before Meat Boy in the movie, but there's this kind of odd illusion that's cast where it seems like I just came out of nowhere. I fell out of the sky, made Meat Boy, and it did really well. But the thing is I already put like 10 years of hard work into making games and being an independent artist. The whole time working at like GameStop and eventually also doing contract work. I was doing a lot of T-shirt designs for places like T-shirt Hell and a lot of the old, cool hip T-shirt websites. I also worked for like local places doing magazine covers, just basic graphic design grunt work, and I did that while I was making games. And it took me a very long time to be self-sustainable off of my work. But you build a following. You eventually you have enough people who care and want to pay for what you're doing. And it's not to say that it's going to take 10 years to start making money off of what you're doing, but it's good to not have that as your goal, just in case things don't work out and then you feel like a huge loser. Because that was my primary thing, is like I just doing this because I love it. Like if my end goal was to be a millionaire when I started, I would have given up like within the first year. So yeah, just make sure your heart is in making games, and that's what you're about, and I think you'll do just fine. Just try to. My second best advice would be to try to, whatever you're working on, put enough of you in it to make it unique. Make it an extension of who you are, and even if it's just stuff that you enjoy, like you're trying to paint this picture that's unique, that's not being offered by a large company that has $1 million budget, multi-million-dollar budget. You got to give them something, something people haven't seen, and for the most part, the thing that they haven't seen is you. So give them a reason to care, and be unique, and that's basically it. But also, yeah, look up the do's and don'ts, because I do go into great detail on, a lot of other things when starting out, and easy mistakes to make.
Very nice. I think that's a really good bit of advice right there. Like, same goes even for broadcasting. You can put it into the same method there. Like, don't go into it thinking, I'm going to make all this money. Like, just do it to have fun. If you're playing video games and you're doing it to have fun, do it and have fun. That's what this is about. Like, I'll say it till the day I stop. This is about me having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing to apply to any life decision, really. Like, is this making me happy?
Yep.
And that should be your primary goal, because if not, your priorities are fucked.
Yep, if your answer is no to that and you're continuing to do it, that's pretty much the definition of insanity.
Yeah. And if you're ever thinking to yourself, I'll be happy once I make some money.
No.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
No.
So not true. Exactly. It fixes nothing.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for having me on. This has been very entertaining to watch. It's actually, it's been quite interesting. I still cringe at certain points, especially when somebody blew up the rock that was definitely supposed to go into the damn hole and it didn't.
Yep.
no fucking clue what's going on there.
Yeah, no, that's happened to me more than a few times. Like, I don't like bringing that stuff up, but nonetheless, yeah, no, it's happened a few, so. But no, nonetheless, thank you very much again, Edmund, for coming out today. Really seriously appreciate it. It baffles me that you even know about this in the first place. I cannot thank you enough for the time you spent, for all the questions you've answered, for all of chat. They're all saying thank you as well. Thank you very much again. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you and getting to talk to you, sir.
Well, thank you, and thanks everybody who's doing this. Like, you don't even know. Like, no one would care about Isaac if people weren't playing it like this. You know what I mean? Like, without people streaming this game, it would not have the reach it does, and I appreciate that greatly. Which is why I'm doing my best to give back and kind of. I mean, this game's not mine anymore. It's all yours. Like, I will put myself into it, but I also want to represent to the fans who brought it where it is, and I would like to be able to give back in a way that like allows you to spawn identical runs, and I really hope that can happen because I've been saying it too many times, and hopefully that works.
Oh, man, that would work out so cool for this too. I'm so excited to see what comes of this too. So best of luck on that as well. I cannot wait to see what you bring from it.
All right, take it easy.
Take care, Mr. Edmund. Again, thank you very much again, and have yourself a great day, sir.
All right, see ya.
Take care. Let me get this out of the way so it isn't popped up over any sort of screens. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Edmund McMillen. Let me trip over my words. Edmund McMillen. I did so good while he was on call. Second he gets off call, I screw up his name. Awesome. Great job, Crumps. No, seriously, thank you very much again. And by the way, really close race going on. Let's catch up.